You've probably seen those videos of people talking about visualization and how it's the best way to manifest all your goals and all your desires. And maybe you've tried visualizing the dream cars or the dream house or the relationship that you want, but it's just like not working and you're probably frustrated and you don't feel like it's for you. But what if I were to tell you that you're just doing two things wrong? And I guarantee once you fix these two things, then you're going to really get some clarity. You're going to understand the real magic in this. Mistake number one that people are making is they're visualizing the thing they want instead of the feeling that they want. You see, let's say you want a dream car. Let's say you want a Lamborghini and that's your dream car. Most people, they make the mistake of picturing themselves driving the car, or they see the car parked in their garage, or they're visualizing all the details about the interior of the car, the exterior of their car, and they make that picture clear in their mind. And then after their 10-minute visualization, they end it and they wonder why it didn't work, and they wonder like why they feel worse after they visualized than like before they visualized. And the reason they end up usually feeling worse, if you've ever felt this before, it's because after they visualized it, they feel so far from that goal, and they feel all these emotions of like the lack of abundance. They feel the desire, but they feel like they don't have it. And that's exactly like the opposite of what the whole visualization is about. So if we're sticking to the example of the Lamborghini, you don't actually want the Lamborghini. You think you want the Lamborghini. You actually want the feelings that having that Lamborghini will provide. So that Lamborghini, it's a symbol, like it has some symbolism behind it. It has like these feelings, you're attaching certain feelings to that Lamborghini, if that makes sense. Like I'll say this in another way so you understand it. So like you don't want the car, whether you're aware of it or not, you attach an emotional experience to the car. And that experience is what you're actually chasing. So you associate that car with certain feelings. It could be like feelings of freedom. It could be feelings of like adventure and, having nothing holding you back. Or it could be having that car in your head means that you're at peace. It means that you made it, that you're successful. So the car, it represents something entirely different than what you're thinking. It represents a whole list of feelings, and you have to identify what object you want, but actually what feelings that thing provides. So after you figure out what feelings you're associating with that thing that you want, you have to do your absolute best to act out those feelings through the visualization right now. And some tips I have for that is when you're imagining, when you're closing your eyes and you're fully relaxed and you picture this image in your head, you have to do things that would match the feeling that you would get if you had it right then. So you could do this through smiling, like you would smile in real life and you would visualize yourself smiling in the visualization, or you visualize yourself laughing or having fun, or you visualize yourself crying these tears of joy and feeling that peace. You would feel that freedom, you'd feel that adventure. Like you have to see it, but you have to feel it as well. And that combination of the thought and the feeling, that's going to make it effective. That's going to make it real, because your brain, what they say is your brain can't tell a difference between what is real and what is imagined. You see, that's why if you dreamed before, you've probably had a dream before, you had dreams where you weren't lucid. And if you ever had a dream and you wake up, you're like, oh shit, that was a dream. Like you couldn't tell that that was a dream when you were in the dream. Like if that makes sense. Like, and you probably don't remember all your dreams, but you've probably had some ridiculous dreams that would make no sense at all. Like, if you had a dream of like a dinosaur, like, or a dragon chasing you, and like, or whatever the hell, things that don't even exist, but in the dream you thought they were 100% real. Like, until you woke up, you thought that was life, but it wasn't. So that's just like an example that our brain, like, it doesn't have that filter. It doesn't have like the reality filter. And so if we could trick ourselves during a dream, then we could trick ourselves during a visualization, because a dream is just an advanced visualization. If you think of it, you're just in a completely different state, but it's the same visualization. So the visualization that we're trying to do is in a conscious form. If our brain isn't aware of what is fake, like in our dream, and what's real, then we could do the same thing in reality. Like, we could trick our brain in reality that what we're visualizing is the reality. And that's the whole point of the visualization, is to take advantage of this weak point in the brain, which is actually an advantage. Like, you're able to take advantage of the fact that the brain can't tell the difference between what's visualized vividly versus what's actually real. And that's what we're taking advantage of in the visualization. Me personally, right now, I'm on a journey to cut about like another 15 pounds. I want to get a really shredded physique. I want to look like that one guy from the Casino Royale, James Bond. I forgot the actor's name. Or the guy from Altered Carbon. So like, those are like the physiques I want. And when I visualize, I don't just picture like what having that six pack would look like, or like, what it looks like on me. I picture the emotions that I would experience, the feelings that I would feel when I have that body, the feelings of confidence, the feelings of, that lightness in my movement, the runaway effect, like how I would look to other people, how I would imagine people started treating me better from the halo effect or whatever. If you know about that, you know it. Like, I would imagine all these different things. I would imagine maybe going on a run and like a bunch of hot old ladies catcalling me or whatever. Like, you could really do whatever, but whatever brings out those good feelings, whatever brings out those emotions, whatever makes it real, and whatever aligns with your desires and what you want, that's what you want to feel. And once you visualize that and you feel that, then that's what your fucking reality is. Like, you're literally, what you're doing is you're making it real. And this moves on to my next point, the second mistake, which is a wish versus a memory. You see, the mistake that people make is they're not closing the gap. When they visualize, they're visualizing like what's gonna happen in the future. Like, they're visualizing a future version of themselves, and they're thinking, oh, that's what I want. But the real thing they need to do is they need to figure out what they want, or like who they want to become, what traits or whatever. And then when you visualize it as a memory. A memory is past tense. It's something that has already happened. But a wish, most people treat their visualizations like a wish. A wish is something in the future that you want to come true, that you don't have yet. But a memory is something that's already happened in the past that has came true. You got it? So we need to treat the visualizations like a memory, like that's something that's already happened now or in the past. So if we treat it like a memory, then we make it feel real. We make it feel like it's already done, and we confuse our brain, and the brain thinks that it's already happened and the wish is already fulfilled. And it's almost about like implanting false memories. And once you do that, you start disassociating from that old past version of you, and you start bridging that gap between the present you and the future you. So you basically just change your identity because you're changing your past, you're changing your memories. And that's what your whole life is programmed on, is like your memories on and what you thought in the past, because the current you is based on your memories and your interpretations of those memories. And that's who you are right now. You have a certain identity. So once you implement these false memories, then you start to change who you think you are. You start to change your identity as a whole. And once you do that, your brain's going to follow through with the actions that follow that identity, that match that identity. So if you're visualizing, that six pack, that physique that you want and how it feels and the experiences and the feelings, everything like that, and you make it a memory and that's your new identity, then you identify as someone that is fit, that has a six pack or whatever it is. And that identity is what changes the future. So your future is going to change through those actions, and that identity is going to match it. So you're no longer going to eat the cookie. You're no longer going to skip the gym or drink the alcohol, because the version that you're imagining, they wouldn't do those things. They would be going on a run. They would be going to the gym. They would be figuring out how to lose weight, and they would have it figured out. So that's where the change happens. It's not because you visualize it that it's just going to happen and manifest. No, it's because when you visualize, you change that identity that you have in mind, and through actions, that's going to actually produce the results. So to summarize this video in like 10-20 seconds, what you do is you define your goal and you picture it clearly and vividly. And then you capture the feeling that it would evoke to have that desired outcome or that desired goal fulfilled. And you feel those feelings while you picture it. And then those feelings that you feel, you treat that whole experience, that visualization and those feelings, as not as a wish, but as a memory, something that's already happened in the past. And when you repeat this enough times, you trick your brain, and your brain will have all of these false memories implanted, and that changes your identity. And through that identity shift, you're going to start shifting into different habits, because your habits are going to follow your identity. So now you're going to have different habits that are going to align with that person or that thing that you want to become, or that thing that you want to have. So that's where the alignment happens, and that's where the change happens. So I hope that makes sense. I know this is like a really fucking confusing topic to make a video about, but if you have any questions, just comment them down below. I'll read it, I'll reply, and hopefully that could help. And if you like this fucking video, then hit that thumbs up and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you want to see some similar videos like this.